Turn our attention now to Rutgers and some of the highlights from this past year, including outstanding seasons for the wrestling, women's gymnastics, and field hockey teams, as well as the notable hiring of new women's basketball coach Gary Reedus. I had the chance to sit down with Rutgers Athletic Director Keli Zinn at Big Ten spring meetings to touch on all those sports and others as she gets ready to start year number 2 on the Banks.
It's been fantastic. I'm about 10 months in now and learned a lot and got a really good grasp of where we are, but more importantly, where we're headed, and just thrilled with how everything's going thus far.
What do you feel like you've checked off the top of the to-do list in those first 10 months?
Yeah, the biggest thing was a focal point on our rosters, and specifically our roster investment. Name, image, and likeness, as everyone is aware, came in full force and has been with us for a number of years. Rutgers had some work to do in that space, and so that was the immediate focal point when I got there. And I'm thrilled to say that, I don't feel like we have an NIL problem anymore. But separate from that, and having the opportunity to add additional scholarship support in response to the House settlement, we also had a few areas there more specific to the Olympic sports side of things to be able to boost their rosters, and we've been able to bridge that gap as well. So excited going into the next year, and as you know, they're already recruiting for 27, 28. So it's been good seeing the trajectory of some of those programs.
Well, I'm glad you brought up NIL, because at your most recent stop, you're considered something of a NIL innovator, saw the money game, other huge revenue growth opportunities. How do you continue that over the long term at Rutgers?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be aggressive in it, right? And I was the point person on negotiating the money game, and there was more than one party who said, "Are you really going to put cameras on this madness?" But I come from a real strong belief that there's opportunity in chaos. And you have to really kind of take advantage of that. Not be reckless, certainly, but to do so in a manner where you figure out how to capitalize on the circumstances you're in. And so having 24 programs at Rutgers, and a number in particular that you see a really bright future to, we're leaning heavily into those and excited for what that's going to look like.
As you developed that NIL success at LSU, you also developed a relationship with Gary Reedus, who is now your women's basketball coach. Why was Gary the right guy at this time for Rutgers women's basketball?
Yeah, well, largely in part of everything we've seen in the short time he's been on the Banks. And from the moment he arrived, right, and I saw someone in him when we worked together previously, incredible recruiter, significant motivator of young women, and the ability to just really get the best out of the people around him. And he leads with a lot of optimism, a ton of energy, and really quickly we saw, particularly in that recruiting space, what he was capable of. And so that roster is going to look different next year, and he was able to layer in really quickly some really great talent with some girls who decided to stick with us, and we're thrilled and grateful to them for sticking around and being the core of that thing. And he's done a great job. So I'm excited for the future of that program. Women's basketball was one that had some really incredible history, and Gary knew that. He had followed that over the years and recognized the value that existed in Rutgers even before he arrived. So it's been good. He's excited.
Yeah, I asked him about his ability to recruit specifically from the portal and all the fantastic players that he brought at LSU. And I asked, how do you do that? And without a doubt, he said, I'm going to do what I do because it is what I do. How infectious is that confidence?
Oh, it's huge. He is authentically himself, but someone that people very quickly gravitate to and pretty easy to fall in love with. And so we've seen a really great trajectory beyond even the recruiting piece of ticket sales and donor support and new people coming to the table, seeing what he's already shown in a short period of time and said, you know what, I'm going to jump on that train and be supportive of him. So it's been good. I'm excited for he and the girls and everybody around him.
Yeah, youthful exuberance, as well as a guy who I don't even think is 40 yet. And it's intriguing then because he joins the other revenue sports, at least with longer tenured, I don't want to say older because I don't want to make Greg or Steve mad, but more mature head coaches in Coach Shiano and Coach Peichel. What's that dynamic like right now inside the athletic department?
Yeah, it's great. Wisdom is
Wisdom
perhaps
is,
what
yes,
we get the
perhaps.
two of them. But one of the things that Coach Regis did immediately, and no one asked him to, was he got with those guys and to ask about, where are you taking your recruits? What are the places that I need to be aware of? What causes your athletes to have a great experience here? And that alone, right, shows that he gets it and he knows how to really put himself in a place for his program to benefit from those around him who have that history, who know the good and probably how to stay away from some of the not so good. And so they've been a real resource to him. And I'm thrilled with the chemistry those three guys have had really quickly out the gate.
As you look at the rest of the department, what do you envision as the keys to having success, not just in those front-facing sports, but in the Olympic sports that include so many more student athletes that people don't get to see perhaps as often as they get to see the football and the basketball players?
Yeah, well, it's doing to a certain degree what we are doing in men's, women's basketball and football, right? And taking a look at what's standing in their way in order to win at a higher level, and then resourcing them accordingly to be able to do that. We've got some incredible foundation in some of those Olympic programs, and making them a priority and really doing a deep dive into what's there and what we need to do to make them more successful is where we've spent our time. And they're grateful. I've been thrilled with our coaching staff and what they've been able to assemble around them. But again, the roster investment is critical. And so I'm excited for them and what now they're capable of in order to put them on a little better footing in that space and more in line with who they're competing against.
Keli, you are not the only female athletic director inside the Big Ten, but it still does remain a position across the country that is primarily occupied by men. What does it mean to you from that perspective? And not just for you to sit in that seat, but perhaps to be an example for other young women who would like to follow in this path?
Yeah, I mean, it means an incredible amount to me, and I'm so grateful to President Tate. I'm grateful to Rutgers. They're going to see me work really hard to make sure I give back to them and incredible what they've done for me and my family and our future. But for young women who are out there, right, to sit in this chair as an AD at a Big Ten institution, yeah, it means so much. But I would say to them that first and foremost, work ethic, right, matters. It's college sports, and you need to hustle and get out there and get after it. And you really have a lot of control over that space. So I was grateful to be around some incredible people, men and women, right, who lifted me up and gave me opportunity. And so, yeah, I'm just really pleased with where things are and excited for the future.
Finally, I think from the outside, folks look at people who work in college sports and think, well, the summers must be really nice and chill because they don't have any sports going on. I envision it's something of the exact opposite because this is a time that you can actually get things done to get ready for the season before the games actually begin.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Everybody knows, and coaches know it well too, right? The off-season is critical. And years ago, we kind of had June and July as an off season. June quickly, went away. And so now it's a little bit to a certain degree July. But yeah, you're always on and taking advantage of every day that you have in order to try and propel things forward. So, but what a beautiful setting, right now that we're in. And so we'll enjoy that in the midst of some really important meetings and taking a look at what makes, college sports so great.
Well, we certainly can't promise this backdrop every time that we chat, but I do look forward to chatting with you again in the future. Keli Zinn, thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.